Life is really what you bake it. And yes, today we are talking about baking it all up with a fun conversation with Rachel Martin from Little Reds. Now, from cakes to cookies, Rachel is turning her passion into perfection, and we can't wait to hear all about how it all began. So, Rachel, good morning, and thank you so much for coming in today.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, and we just have the cutest little cake here. I'm so excited to talk about this, but first, can you just tell us about your journey and what made you decide to turn your passion of baking into, just this entrepreneurial endeavor of yours?
Of course, growing up, I went through so many different hobbies, and baking is the only one that really stuck. I absolutely love the creativity that you get to put behind the different designs, and how I got into cottage baking. For those who aren't familiar, a cottage baker is somebody who operates out of their home. And they follow local cottage food laws. And this is kind of my transition period until I can get to my dream, which is to eventually have a storefront someday.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't think I've ever even heard of cottage baking before. Okay, that's really cool. Does that have anything to do with the design as well, or just really the ingredients?
It more so, basically with cottage food law, you have to follow certain labeling requirements, and then also you're restricted in terms of what you can and can't make. So you can't really make anything that requires refrigeration. Ohio, though, so it's going to be different depending on what state you're in, but in Ohio, they actually have a cottage baker and a home bakery. The difference between the two, cottage baker, you can have animals in the home, and then you don't have to pay any sort of permit as long as you're following the labeling requirements. Home baker, the state comes in and inspects your kitchen. You can't have any sort of pets in the home whatsoever, and then you can make things like cheesecake and things that require refrigeration.
Okay, different things then. Well, and we love our furry friends. We love our furry friends here on the show as well. Well, and how would you, walk us through how you started decorating and like how you would describe your decorating now? Because these are adorable. First of all, we have two little frogs, and what does the quote say right there?
It says, "You make my heart leap."
I'm absolutely obsessed. But how did we get to this point in your decorating process?
So I'm 100% self-taught, which I think is really cool. I did originally want to go to baking and pastry school. I got accepted into Johnson & Wales University, which is a really big one. But if you know anything about culinary school, it's very expensive. So I ended up going to NKU instead, and I got my degree in entrepreneurship and finance. And I've just been really using what I learned through my education to create my business. But yeah, everything I've learned has just been through doing it, practicing, and learning things on the internet.
No, that's so cool. I love it when people can really just take a passion of theirs and perfect it. And I mean, you just kind of keep working with it and you keep doing it. Any favorites that you've made, or maybe what's the most unique cake that you've made so far?
This one's definitely up there, but I have to say my favorite request I ever got was from a husband, and it wasn't for any sort of special occasion, because we already don't really see like significant others, like male, reaching out a lot. Normally it's like the females reaching out, so I loved that he reached out first and foremost. But then he gave me this whole list of things that his wife loved, and on that list was corgis, and he gave me complete creative freedom, so I created a corgi butt cake, because I feel like
so good.
When you think of a corgi, you think of their fluffy little butt, so I had to include that. And then he also said that her favorite colors were like yellow and green, so I included like little yellow rosettes with green leaves, and I am obsessed with how the cake turned out. It was so cute. One of my favorites to date.
Oh my goodness, I love that creativity. And you're right, everybody loves a corgi butt.
Yes.
Yeah, there's just something about them, All right, well, if people want to continue to follow your journey and maybe even order a cake for themselves, where should they go?
So my across all my social media platforms, which I'm most active on TikTok. I actually just hit 25,000 followers last night, which is crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
And then I have Facebook, Instagram, and then I did just start a YouTube, but all the ats are at Little Reds Cincy for like Cincinnati.
Okay, perfect. Hey, well, that makes it easy to find, and I'm in love with this cute little guy. This is so cute. So Rachel, do you have any Valentine's Day specials coming up? Because obviously this is the cutest little Valentine's Day cake celebrating love and all of those things, but what specials do you have?
So this one in particular is not on my set Valentine's Day pre-order menu, but I have a 6-inch, it's called coquette style cake. So essentially it's like got some of the vintage style piping and then bows on it. It's so precious. And then I'm also offering a more affordable option, a little bento cake. So they're 4-inch 2-layer cakes, and you're able to customize the flavors, the fillings, and then also the text that you get on top. So you can customize it specifically to your significant other, or if you want to get something super cute for your family. But to get my Valentine's Day pre-order, in all of my socials, I have a Google form linked within those. So it's in my link tree and my bios on all my different social media platforms. But yeah, you just click into that, fill out the form, and I get back to you via email.
Okay, Linktree is so helpful with things like that as well. And lastly, too, if people want to learn more about you, what is your website for folks?
My website is littleredscupcakes.square.site. We're still working on getting our own domains.
And that's okay. It's a work in progress.
Exactly.
You're doing great. All right. Well,
you.
thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you for having me.